So, the overall positions in the special vehicle category, and take a look at that. 16 minutes separating the top three and less than an hour between Harvey and Stone and Ilman and Stein. And in the production vehicle category, it was even closer between the top six, with 3/4 of an hour separating them. Reneke and Houghton taking the championship with one more race to go. Back to the quads now, and deep into the second loop. Brandon Martin on his Honda 400 was still leading, but he was being chased hard by Jacques Struwig on his 350 Yamaha Banshee. John Craig Costello on his Team Joburg Yamaha Banshee 350 was holding down a steady third position, but then things changed as Costello had taken a heavy tumble, handing third position to Paul Chomsey on his Natal Protection Services Yamaha Banshee 350. A huge battle for fifth had developed between Daliter Blanche on his Shimwell's Yamaha Banshee and Louis Boshoff on a similar machine racing under the Addictive Racing Development banner. But it was Brandon Martin who took the flag in the quad category after a faultless and trouble-free run.
It was very similar to time trials. There was a few long straights and a lot of rough sections. Just as it was long and tough, hard on the hands.
Jacques Struwig brought his quad home in second position, followed by Paul Chomsey, the top three covered by only 9 minutes on combined times after more than 400 kilometers of racing. There's the final results, with David Parkinson of Team Exclusive Racing finishing fourth on his Yamaha Banshee, Daliter Blanche in fifth, and Louis Boshoff dropping to sixth behind Calvin Collington of CJ Yamaha, the last three in the top six covered by a mere 2 minutes. In the motorcycle category, Alfie Cox was once again being proved to be unbeatable, pulling out more than a minute over his rivals as he controlled the pace on his Nitro Freight Castrol KTM 380. Jade Goodsight had kept a cool head and a steady hand to remain in second position, doing a great job on his Autopage Cellular Honda 250 in the company of riders with much more experience. Darryl Curtis on his AGA LG Castrol KTM 250 was being chased for third by Clayton Enslin on his Leaf Russell Campbell Racing Kawasaki KX 250. But Curtis was another victim of the grueling Caledon 400 conditions, and Enslin soon caught up with Goodsight, who had the advantage of a marathon-sized fuel tank and didn't need to stop at all the refueling points. Up into fourth position now was Quinton Milton on his Autopage Cellular Honda 250, having started seventh in the morning. Alan Julian on his Miller Racing KTM 250 was up into ninth position overall, but it was the familiar sight of Alfie Cox taking the checkered flag that greeted the spectators at the finish line as he wrote yet another title behind his name.
It's been a hard race today. I mean, these loop-type races really makes for good racing because, you know, the guys know where they're going on the second loop, and it makes for unbelievable racing. And we've never had so close racing as we've had this year. And, you know, normally I can win by 10 minutes, but lately that's been, you know, 1 minute, 2 minutes. But, you know, I'm not really worried. If I can just get into the lead and, you know, maybe a little bit of experience and use the dust to my advantage. I've got the big horsepower bike. The KTM 380 is just, I think at the moment, the best bike. I mean, I've won 6 races in a row. And I think that's a record. And now I'm happy with that because I've won the championship before I go to the roof. And for me, the Roof of Africa, 9 wins I'm going for. And I want to go and try and win the race and not have to worry about the championship. So today has worked out very well for me and I'm happy. I mean, it's just great.
A very relieved Jade Goodsight held on to his second position despite some heavy pressure from Clayton Enslin towards the end of the race, with Enslin finishing a relatively comfortable third position without having had to look over his shoulder too often. Quinton Milton was the next man over the finish line, also running with relatively few problems as a number of motorcycle competitors had suffered some heavy falls, causing quite a few bruises and even fractures. Elmer Simons was fifth over the line and fourth in the 250 class, also having passed pole position man Rob Campbell through the course of the day. Campbell wasn't too concerned about finishing sixth though, as he had decided early on not to push the pace and rather to learn the skills required by off-road racing. In the end, on combined times, Alfie Cox had beaten Jade Goodsight by only 1 minute, with a mere 12 minutes covering the top 6 riders. Things don't come closer than that in off-road racing, and the scene was set for the final round of the championship, the Roof of Africa in Lesotho in November. Taking a look at the class results, Wayne Farmer did extremely well to win the 200 class ahead of teammate Craig Arnold, with Goodside taking the 250 class ahead of Honda rider Quinton Milton, while Cox took the open class ahead of his championship rival Errol Dalton.
The Caledon 400 was proudly brought to you